Guys, we are finally heading back up to the car to call in the VIN number and see what the story is behind the car. So it is 28 degrees here at the river. It is really cold. It's going to take us about an hour and a half to get to the car. So it's going to be really cold, really windy, and hopefully we find it pretty easily. Okay, so it took us nearly 2 hours to get back to the location, to the car. It is super cold. It was about 30 degrees, 28 or 30 degrees at the dock when we took off, and we were going, we're driving in a boat that has no top on it. So 28 degrees, and then you add about 25-mile-an-hour winds on top of that. It's pretty shitty. So we couldn't park at our last spot that we did last time we were here when we saw the car, so we had to go up a little bit further, and then now we're having to walk down towards the trail. So I really hope you guys like this video, because it was one cold ride, long cold ride, and hopefully the story behind this car turns out to be actually interesting. So here we go. All right, here we go. Here's a little game trail. All right. Ooh. Kind of feel like I should be going through here with my freaking 44 out of the holster. Now over here is like there's a really well-established game trail. This is where we follow the moose tracks. Running through here. Look, there's the car. All right, so it's a lot easier to see because there's no leaves on the trees, but it was really thick when we came through here. Here's the embankment It's about 4 feet up. Camera's not really showing the angle too well. But there's a tree directly, look at this, directly behind the car. So let's go this way. Just how we left her. Yeah, definitely nobody's been here since. All right, here's the famous car. There's the lid that I left open. One of you guys got all OCD in the comments about closing it back. We'll fix that. Okay. Whew. So just to entertain some of you trolls that wanted to see if the car still ran. Get you in here. All right, fingers crossed. It doesn't start. Who would have thought? And checking the glove box here. Nothing in the glove box. It's the Eagle station wagon. Well, so we have the VIN number right over here. I had to scratch one of the stickers off the front in order to see the VIN number. But you know what's really interesting that I wasn't paying attention to last time is U.S. Army AK. This I had to scratch this up before I scratched it. It's a Department of Defense decal. So I think this is a some odd Army car, like a car that belonged to a ground unit or something like that. I mean, technically, over there, right over there is Army land. There's those white signs plastered on the side of the river. So over there, about a mile is Army land, technically. Back over here isn't. So maybe this is driven out here by the Army, by somebody in the Army, or maybe it's just stayed on there. Really wanting to find out the story behind this thing. There. We'll close the lid. Part of me really wants to kind of dig around in there and see if there's anything else, like any kind of clues or anything. These pants, I don't got a name on them. Yep. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and call that VIN number in. Hi there. I am wanting to report a abandoned vehicle's VIN number to you guys. See if it belongs to anybody that might have reported it stolen or anything. Is that possible? Well, say that again. Oh, it is actually on the Tanana River, about halfway between Nenana and Fairbanks. Gosh. So like I said, it's on the river, on the other side of the Tanana of the highway. So I don't know exactly what milepost it's at. I have, like
Okay.
I have the GPS coordinates and whatnot, but that's about it.
Okay. What's the VIN or the license plate?
There actually is no license plate, but I have the VIN number right here for you.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm ready.
All right, it is okay. 2 Charlie 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 Kilo 3 8 5 1 Foxtrot Bravo 712 716.
Okay. And what type of vehicle should this be?
It is a AMC Eagle. I don't have the exact date of when it was made or anything. Sometime around 1988. And like I said, I'm just kind of curious to see if it belongs to anybody that that might have been reported missing or reported their vehicle stolen. So. It also has U.S. Army Alaska decal on it next to the VIN number,
Okay.
if that helps out at all.
Yep. So what?
Okay, you're not showing it as stolen? Okay.
No.
Awesome. All right. I don't know if you can give me any info of the owner or anything like that. We were kind of curious to see if like the owner, of the car like went missing around like 2006 or something like that. There's a bunch of newspapers in here that have the 2005 and 2006 dates on it. So
Unfortunately, that's information that I can't relate to you.
yeah, no, I figured I'd ask anyway though. So
No, I appreciate your concern though, but it looks like it's good to go.
all right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, bye bye. All right, so there you have it. She couldn't give me any information. I was expecting that. So it didn't sound like it came back to anybody that was reported missing or anything like that. It's not stolen. Obviously, it's not missing. So it's really, really interesting. I don't really know how else to what other information to get from this thing. We looked through here. We looked a little bit more thorough at the newspapers, and just other than the latest newspaper, it says August 25th, 2006. So I don't know. Probably reasonably thinking here, it probably was driven out here in the winter, but it is really far from Fairbanks. It is really far from Nenana. The highway is just way over there. It is on the other side of the Tanana River, on the opposite side than the highway. And the highway to the Tanana is about 5 miles, 5.5-ish miles, I believe. So, and then, yeah, and then there's the main channel, and then there's another 1.5 miles, close to 2 miles of sloughs that we're back into, and that's where this car is. So it is just really crazy. I don't know. A lot of you have been saying to try to drive the vehicle out of here in the winter, put a new battery in it, put some gas in it, and try to jump it. That might be something cool to kind of try. Maybe bring some oil, some gas, and a new battery out here, and some tools, and just see if we can get it running. Just for chagrins, But as far as getting it out of here and everything, I ain't about to try that. During the winter, I mean, the river and the banks and everything, they're not maintained, they're not plowed or anything, obviously. So The snow is incredibly deep out here. I've been out this direction on snow machines, and it's super deep in this area, understandably. So for somebody to be able to drive this car out here from Fairbanks during the winter is pretty outstanding. I'm really kind of curious about the U.S. Army Alaska decals on it. That's pretty intriguing. So, but as for this car's story, don't really have an answer for you. Kind of sucks because I was really curious myself. So anyway, with that said, we will mark this on our GPS and use that as a mile marker or a landmark. Not really sure, so let's see if we can get it in the whole car in the frame here. Here. Say hi, honey. So yeah, this is just straight out in the middle of nowhere. We did find some other boards, like the board behind the car. We found some more that look like walls for a little shack, little shanty. It's back over there, but they're not put together or anything. They're just stacked on top of each other. So I don't know, not really sure. Over here, it's a big pile of logs that were obviously, like all of them, most of them, if not all of them, were obviously cut down, you know, by chainsaw or whatever. So yeah, super interesting. Sucks that we can't figure out how in the world it got out here and who was driving it. And so I really hope you guys like the video. There's a good amount of work put into just getting out here to film it all over again and whatnot. It took us about an hour and 40 minutes, close to 2 hours to get out here. Just from the Nenana docks to this spot, it took us about 2 hours. I don't have a huge boat. I got a 60 horse with a jet, so it's not any speed racer or anything like that. But it was 28 degrees at the dock, and then we were going 25 miles an hour upriver. It was already windy, cold, so it was this morning was pretty miserable for us. But we got out here, so I hope it was worth it, because there was a lot of work that went into getting out here. And now we're going to have about an hour trip back home, and it's warmed up a little bit, but it's still pretty chilly. So if you want to find the car, just out of respect for the car, I'm not going to go plastering the latitude and longitude all over Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. Really kind of worried about somebody coming out here, some asshole, and bashing out the windows just because they can. It's an abandoned car and everything like that. I think this is a really cool landmark that should stay here and just be a really cool find for other people, and kind of like a little mini milepost for the river. So I am not going to post the latitude and longitude, but I will say it is halfway, almost exactly halfway on the between Fairbanks and Nenana on the Tanana River on 20A side. You know, if you're a hunter, 20A side. We're in 20A right now. Right across the river on Tanana is 20B. So right smack dab in the middle of the river between Fairbanks and Nenana. So if you're really curious, go looking for it. It's near Army land. If you find it, post it on My Home is Alaska or the Alaska Life, whatever. Post it and tag me to let me know you found it. This would be a kind of a cool little scavenger hunt or whatever for people if they're really up for giving it a go. It is pretty tricky to get to if you don't know what you're doing on a boat. If you don't know how to drive, if you're not that great, I really wouldn't do it. It's really shallow. We're up a really, really shallow slough, and you can hear a helicopter off in the distance. It's really shallow, so if you get stuck, you're screwed, because it is all just really soft silt out here. So if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to drive that well, don't risk it. You're gonna really screw yourself over. Be stuck out here overnight or something like that. So really cool trip. Glad I came out here I'll definitely be coming out here just to show other people, show some friends and whatnot, and might even set up a camp out here for hunting season next year. So we'll see. All right, one last thing. We found a mechanical pencil in the floorboard, and we found a bunch of paper plates. So we went ahead and signed it, named it the Mystery Eagle. So there's more plates underneath, and the pencil's right there. So if you guys find this car, be sure to sign one of the plates stacked underneath and just leave it on the dashboard. And I think that's a pretty cool little log. So I've named it the Mystery Eagle. So hope you find it. So share this everywhere, ask around. Maybe somebody somewhere in the state is familiar with it or knows somebody that lost their car or went missing somewhere between Fairbanks and Nenana 10 to 12 years ago. And yeah, super cool.